Have you ever wondered why some people seem to eat everything and still stay slim, while you struggle with every single meal? Maybe you've spent years trying to eat less, train harder, and count every single calorie. But in the end, the scale still goes up. Let's be honest, that's depressing. And it's not because you lack discipline. It's because you were told a lie. The fitness industry treats your body like a simple bank account. Numbers in, numbers out. But your body is not a calculator. It is a highly complex chemical laboratory. In this laboratory, calories are not in charge. Hormones are. And there is one crucial ruler that almost everyone overlooks: insulin. Think of insulin as a strict bouncer. Its job is to store energy. Here's the problem. The moment this bouncer shows up, something dramatic happens. He doesn't just close the doors to your fat stores, he locks them from the inside. At that moment, it becomes biologically impossible to burn body fat. It doesn't matter how little you eat or how long you run on the treadmill. As long as your insulin level is high, the fat stays exactly where it is. It is trapped. Once you understand how to control this bouncer instead of fighting him, weight loss suddenly becomes logical and simple. We're not talking about deprivation. We're talking about biology. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to find the key to those locked doors and finally get your body to work for you instead of against you.
Do you know that strange feeling? You technically have plenty of energy reserves on your body, maybe around your belly or hips, yet you constantly feel drained, shaky, and crave something sweet. It makes no logical sense, right? Why would your body want more food when it's carrying around thousands of calories in the form of fat? This is where we come to a paradox I call the starving millionaire. Imagine you have millions sitting in your bank account, but your credit card is frozen. You're standing in front of a fully stocked refrigerator, but you don't have the key. Theoretically, you're rich. In reality, you're starving. That is exactly what happens in your body when insulin levels remain chronically elevated. Insulin blocks access to your fat cells. The energy is there, but it's locked away. It's simply not accessible to your muscles and your brain. When your cells don't receive energy, your brain goes into panic mode. It detects an emergency. It doesn't ask how much fat you're carrying around your ribs. It only sees that no fuel is arriving in the bloodstream right now. The result? A massive hunger signal. A craving so intense that no amount of willpower in the world can stop it. Listen carefully. The next time you find yourself standing in front of the refrigerator late at night searching for sugar, that is not a sign of weakness. It is not a lack of discipline. It is a biological cry for help from your cells, which are literally starving while swimming in a sea of energy. The problem is not your character. The problem is the insulin blockade. Once we learn how to lift this hormonal lock, that tormenting hunger disappears on its own. Not because you force yourself to behave, but because your body finally regains access to its own reserves.
Maybe you're thinking, but I already eat healthy. I avoid fast food, I eat oatmeal for breakfast, brown rice for lunch, and plenty of fresh fruit in between. That sounds perfect, right? Yet this is exactly where the trap lies, the one that almost 99% of people fall into. The problem is often not what you eat, but how and when you eat it. Imagine your body is a machine that only burns fat when it gets a chance to rest. But every time you eat even a small bite, an apple here, a healthy bar there, or a coffee with milk in between, you send your body a signal. Insulin rises. The bouncer is instantly wide awake again and locks the doors. If you constantly snack, your hormonal system never gets the break it needs to even start fat burning. And there is another fatal mistake many people make during their main meals. They start with carbohydrates. The first bite is the bread roll, the rice, or the sweet fruit. What happens? Your blood sugar shoots up like a rocket. Your body goes into alarm mode and floods your bloodstream with insulin to control the sugar. In that moment, everything you eat in that meal is directed straight into fat storage, no matter how healthy the foods on your plate may be. We must fundamentally understand one thing. What we eat matters, but when we eat and in what order we eat it is often even more decisive for our success. It's like trying to build a house but starting with the roof. It will never be stable. In the next part, I'll show you a simple method to reverse exactly that. You don't have to give up your favorite foods. You just need to learn how to enjoy them in the right order to put the insulin bouncer to sleep.
Now we come to the most exciting part. How do we beat the insulin bouncer with his own weapons? I call it the JASIT protocol. It's not a diet, it's a strategy. You don't have to eat less, you just have to eat smarter. Everything begins with step 0, your secret preparation. 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in a large glass of water shortly before the meal. Think of this vinegar as a biological hearing aid for your cells. It helps your muscles understand insulin signal more clearly. Instead of insulin having to shout loudly, now a whisper is enough. The sugar is directed straight into the muscles instead of into fat storage. Then the meal begins, and the order is crucial. Step 1. Eat your vegetables first. The salad, the broccoli, or the spinach. The fiber forms a kind of protective barrier in your gut, a firewall. When sugar comes later, it is slowed down by this wall. It seeps through only very gradually. Step 2. Now comes protein and healthy fats. The meat, the fish, the eggs, or the nuts. This activates a satiety hormone called GLP-1. It works like an anchor. It keeps digestion steady and signals to your brain, we are full, we are safe. And only at the very end in step 3 do the carbohydrates come, the rice, the potatoes, or the bread. Because you've already set the fiber firewall and the protein anchor, something magical happens. Blood sugar no longer surges like a tidal wave. It arrives in your bloodstream more like a gentle summer rain. Your body stays calm. The insulin bouncer does not panic. The doors to your fat cells remain open, and your body can continue burning energy while you enjoy a full, delicious meal. That is biological intelligence in action.
Now that you know how to properly structure your meals, I want to reveal a trick that almost everyone overlooks. It's about the timing of your movement. Most people believe they need to sweat for hours at the gym on an empty stomach to burn fat, but science tells us something very different. The most important moment for movement is not at 5 in the morning before breakfast. The golden moment is right after you eat. Why? Because at that exact moment, your body uses a fascinating secret, the so-called GLUT4 mechanism. Imagine the sugar from your meal is floating in your bloodstream. Normally, the insulin bouncer would now have to unlock the main door and laboriously push the sugar into the cells. But if you move, even if you just take a relaxed 15-minute walk, something magical happens. Your muscles suddenly open a back entrance. They don't need a key. They don't need insulin. The muscles simply vacuum the sugar directly out of the blood to burn it immediately as energy. It's as if you steal the sugar before it even has the chance to be stored as fat on your hips. You don't need workout clothes. You don't have to be out of breath. A short walk around the block or a little housework after dinner is completely enough. You relieve your entire system. Insulin levels remain low. Fat burning continues quietly in the background, and that notorious post-meal crash disappears on its own. It's not about training harder. It's about using your muscles at the right moment as burning machines. That's how you turn your body into a place where energy flows instead of getting stuck.
We've reached the end of our journey, but there is one last invisible factor that determines everything: your basal insulin. This is the insulin level that is always present, even when you're not eating. In many people, this level is chronically elevated, even at night. That's why many wake up hungry in the morning and feel completely exhausted. If your basal insulin cannot drop, your body never gets permission to access its fat reserves. Imagine the vault is full, but the combination is never entered. This is the true purpose of intermittent fasting. It's not about suffering or skipping meals. It's about giving your hormonal system a break so insulin levels can fall to 0. Only in this hormonal silence does the real magic happen. Your body begins to heal itself and use fat as pure, clean energy while you sleep. Let's briefly summarize everything again. First, a glass of water with apple cider vinegar before eating. Second, the magical order: fiber first, then protein and fat, and carbohydrates only at the very end. Third, a short walk immediately after the meal to use the sugar back entrance. And fourth, give your body breaks without snacks so the insulin bouncer can finally clock out. Stop fighting your own biology. It only leads to frustration and exhaustion. Start managing your hormones. When you do, weight loss will no longer be a battle, but a natural consequence of a healthy system. You'll regain your energy, your focus will become clearer, and your body will finally become your greatest ally. If these insights helped you, then subscribe to this channel and activate the bell. We share only real biological knowledge here. knowledge that truly works. Take control of your biology today. I'll see you in the next video.